Hey, welcome to It's in the Next Pack. In this episode, I'm just going to kind of go over how I collect Pokemon cards. How can we collect cards in 2025, right? The demand is just through the roof. How do we, in this hobby, be able to collect? It's difficult right now. I mean, you guys know the demand. If you go to PokemonCenter.com right now, you'll see that the only thing they have available is booster boxes of Temporal Forces, right? There's nothing wrong with that set. It's just that's all they have, and it just shows you just how limited we are. If you click on, all their pages just sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, right? I mean, you go to the big box stores like Walmart, Target, they're either locked up, sold out, the whole section's empty, and it's just crazy, like the demand for it, right? Or if you do find it available, it's all double the price. It's double to triple the price on eBay. You can't get a hold of it. Between the problem of scalpers and the problem of what not many people seem to talk about this, but I feel like it does need talked about. Pokemon Company has been selling cards for what, 28 years? They're fully aware of the demand that they have. I mean, when Prismatic Evolutions dropped, I mean, you don't think they understand that Eevee and, Umbreon and all of them are popular characters? No, they fully are aware, and I believe that they intentionally short-stopped themselves, created this weird demand. Then they put out their little apology, like, oh, we're so sorry, we didn't know. No, you knew. You knew this is a popular set, and you knew it would create a demand. And so then they can say, oh, we're gonna print more. We're gonna print more. Well, awesome. That's cool. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to it. But that'll create its own thing because now people are eagerly awaiting for when it comes again. And I feel like, a lot of eyes are on the scalpers, and they'll say, oh, these scalpers, oh, they're ruining the hobby, they're ruining the hobby. And it's like, they're not helpful. I'm not saying that. It's frustrating when you try to go on websites and get these cards and they're gone. I mean, you can't get them. Like, for instance, the other day, my friend, he knows I collect, and he said, hey, do you ever pay attention to Best Buy? They do these drops for all sorts of things, but they're doing Pokemon this week. And I was like, oh, I had no clue. So I downloaded the app, and I appreciated that he sent me the info. Best Buy was doing a drop for Pokemon 151. They had a Blooming Water set and a booster bundle, and I was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna try to get on that. And I'm literally there as it's counting down. Tick, 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 available. No, I couldn't secure a box fast enough. At within a second, a minute, it was sold out that fast on the site. And that's disheartening. I mean, not just for me, I'm sure for everybody else that's experienced the same thing. How do we collect in this crazy situation? I mean, the demand is honestly nuts, and it's crazy to me how fast it shifted because you know I'm relatively new, like, to collecting Pokemon again. I'm a Gen 1er at heart. I'm 34 years old. Yeah, the first time I saw a Pokemon card, I was in first grade, and some kid brought him to school, and I was just blown away and got into it then. I collected for a few years. I'd say from 6 years old to like 11 years old, and then I was like, I'm too old for this now, and I got rid of my cards like a fool. And then if you watch my personal collection video, you know that when I got in my 20s, I started playing Magic the Gathering, and I collected that exclusively. And then I just got back into Pokemon at 151, like so many others, because, well, I'm a Gen 1er at heart. I saw that set, and I just thought, man, that's for me, So, but because it reinvigorated the hobby for me, I've always been into cards. I've been collecting cards for, man, like, well, since I was like 6 years old, which is like crazy to think about. And when it comes to Pokemon too, I mean, even though I wasn't collecting cards during those times, I've always enjoyed the games. I've played every single one of them, and speaking of the games, I'm really looking forward to Legends ZA. I can't wait to see the new megas that come and that sort of thing. Usually I pick a fire starter, but based off of the starters they've shown, I gotta go Totodile. I just like him more than Tepig. I think Tepig, I'm a hater. Embor's not that cool to me. Any Embor fans, sorry. And then, but really looking forward to the game. It's gonna be fun. But anyway, I've got sidetracked talking about games, but when I got back into the cards, Stellar Crown was just dropping. I went and it was easy. I got a booster box and I got an ETB and I broke it open, had a blast, separated it all out, did my thing. Well, that's what I mean about how fast this changed, because then it went from Stellar Crown to Surging Sparks. So the hype's rising. Prismatic Evolutions, you can't get it. It's gone. Now the demand is insane. Apparently, like worse than it. And it's weird because, like I said, when I first got into it, Stellar Crown was dropping, which feels like an eternity ago. But no, that was like 6 months ago. Like I swear it. I don't know. Maybe I'm losing track of time, but at that time I was able to look on Amazon. You could ETBs of like Obsidian Flames and Temporal Forces and Paldea Evolve for like $36 on Amazon for these ETBs. And had I known, I would have just, should you keep it sealed or should you open it? Like keep it sealed, man. Like in 6 months, those things are going to like double and triple in price. Like insane, right? So how do we collect in 2025? How do we do it? Well, I've actually just switched to Japanese booster boxes. I've stopped collecting English. That does not mean I won't collect English again. The main reason I switched is, well, currently in the state of the hobby, it's accessible to me. I can get it. I wanted to gatekeep the website, just because the demand, but I thought, no, the people in the hobby should know about this if they're curious or if they like that. If you're not interested in Japanese Pokemon, the site that I'm referencing is called Granddad's Cards, or granddadshop.com. But they sell English, Japanese. They're experiencing the high volume traffic too, of course. If you go there, they don't have any English cards. They sold out like that. And, but they do have Japanese cards. And that's one reason I switched over, is that they're accessible. And then I found that I actually like opening them. Like the way they distribute their boxes, I enjoy it. I like they're 5 cards per pack. It's a little different. You're used to opening more in English, but they distribute well. So that's why I switched. So, check out that website if you're interested in that sort of thing. I just thought, man, maybe someone in the hobby needs to hear this. Maybe someone needs to see that there is a site available. And so just think about that. Let's think about how do we move forward. And for those of you that are discouraged right now that, you can't get your hands on anything, this will pass. Like they're going to print more, they're going to do that kind of thing, and we'll be able to get our hands on it again. Like I said, I felt like not enough people, I'm not trying to take digs and shots at the Pokemon company, but I can't help but feel like they're partially responsible. And I felt like a lot of creators I watched were pointing the finger at scalpers. And like I said before, I know they're not helping the cause, but Pokemon knows the demand. They're fully aware that, the EVs and that Prismatic Evolutions was going to just be through the roof. So part of me wants to, I just want someone, because I felt like no one said it, or they're too afraid to say it. I guess I'm not, because I only have 51 subscribers. But, let's point a little bit of the blame at the Pokemon company and say, you clearly knew the demand and you didn't print enough, and you purposely short printed it, I feel, to create this huge hype. It got sold out. They put out their, I'm sorry. No, you're not. You're going to print more. And now while we're waiting for you to print it, the demand for when that comes out is going to be through the roof, But it is what it is. Look, I'm hating on them, but they're a business and they need to make money, and they saw that this felt like this is a way to do so. So, I can't fault them in that regard, but I just wish more people would be willing to point out that they are to blame too. It's not just scalpers. It's not just that. It's not just this demand. It's them too. But, not to go on a huge rant or tirade, but, let's talk about fun stuff. So since I've switched over to a Japanese product, let's see how I break it down. Let's check it out. This is how we can collect in 2025. Okay, so what we got here is I'd actually just busted open a Japanese booster box. My daughters and I had been opening through this one, and so I'm just separating them and organizing them. So while we got the time lapse going, let's discuss how you can collect in 2025. Like I said, earlier, I switched to the Japanese because they're accessible. So, and they also distribute well, like I pointed out. So that's what we're doing here. You'll see that I actually like to collect sets, really. I enjoy that. I wish I could collect master sets, but that's a little bit out of my price range. So any alternate rare or special illustration rare I get, those go in my hit binders. But this bulk, I organize it how the Pokemon Company does, and with Japanese sets, they're usually like half size too. So there's like 71 cards in this particular set, and that's what we do. We put them in the order, and so that makes it fun for me because this is a way that makes commons and uncommons fun to get. Versus, I always love pulling the big rare too, but this is a way that shows off how fun that can be. But like I said, how do you collect in 2025? I showed you that one site, Granddad's Cards Shop, and they're a way to get Japanese cards. And then a sad truth right now is you just got to be, man, mindful and watching things. Like, that's kind of the key. Earlier in the video, I'd mentioned the Best Buy drops. Well, keep an eye out for them. I mean, I wasn't able to secure one, but you just got to keep an eye out, right? So right here in this part of the video, I'm showing off just missing cards that were coming from it. This Veluza, this Slow King. But that's another way to collect is right now, singles on eBay and stuff, they're cheaper, that's a way to go. Like this Orthworm I'm missing. So that's a way to go. But obviously I know ripping is a lot more fun. So try to just keep your eyes open, watch for Costco, watch for deals. Right now, Best Buy has the, I believe it's like a Maba Stiff box. You can get that there. It's limited, but that's how we go. All right. So, but anyways, like I was showing off in this part of the video, I'd actually gotten the 4 cards I was missing from the set off eBay. It was like $7 to get these singles. And so that's what we do here. So now the set is complete as far as the out of 71, right? This, like I'd mentioned, the special illustration rares and things like that are not in here. But this is how it ends up coming out. So it looks just fun. It's really pleasing to the eye. It's a fun way for me to collect, and I would recommend others collect it. But of course, at the end of the day, however you prefer to collect, do that, right? If it makes you happy, do that. I'm just showing this as a way to currently collect that's accessible and that's not being it's affected, of course, right now by everything else we've talked about, but at least you can get your hands on it. So I'd recommend that. And so it's a fun way to go about it. If you guys have any other options or things like that, let me know in the comments. Let me know how you guys collect, because I'm curious how we can, I want to build a community where people help each other and we discuss things that can help us get through this and, make sure that we can enjoy the hobby together. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all you guys watching and listening to me rant and rave about things, and I'll see you all in the next pack.